Welcome to Magi Monday. My name is Andrea Blythe. I'm the traveling Magi of Let Love Rise, where this year I am bringing you 52 episodes based on the 52 cards of the Magi card science system, what we know as playing cards. Today, week 8 of winter season, we are talking about a powerful card, the Eight of Spades, perhaps known as the card of willpower, the card of power and work, of force. And I have a beautiful love force today that I am bringing on to the show as a reflection of this card, the Eight of Spades. I met her a couple of years ago at a local networking event, gathering of light workers, those of you who are in the Boise area. The beautiful Ann Jonas, known as the love messenger and the creator of the Lotus Path. I welcome you to today's episode, Ann.
I am thrilled to be here. I love the way that we've connected. I love our Gathering of Lightworkers community and the vibration and frequency. And I loved seeing you working with these cards because my aunt introduced them to me when I was a teenager
I
and has a
remember
book
that
that's
first meeting. Yes.
there's this book that's falling apart. And so it was really fabulous. I've never known anyone else to, and you've seriously done an incredibly beautiful deep dive becoming the
Oh,
Magi. And so it's
oh.
an honor to be here today. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I remember that meeting so much because typically, and perhaps you're new. If you are brand new to Magi Monday, welcome. I'm so glad you're here to learn how, yes, playing cards, how the encoding in this through the numerology and the symbology and the astrology really gives a very well-rounded picture of the soul essence that you chose to incarnate as. Most people who I meet are like, "What? What?" And you were one of the first people, maybe still one of the only people who are like, oh yeah, I've heard of this." Do you have any idea how your aunt was introduced to this system with her old workbook that's falling apart at the seams?
She was always into the unique things about
Mhm.
life. And so, yeah, it's funny. I'm gonna have to ask her now how she was introduced. It probably was from someone now that I feel into it. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's how often, things really up until, I don't know, the last 40 years, it was we 40 years we would speak our traditions and our teachings, right?
Yes.
I mean, as far as like it was oral, and now we
Yes.
can access everything virtually, but yet a
Every
lot of things were handed down. Our teachers were people in our community.
Right.
So
And specifically the Magi cards, just to give a little background for anybody who is hearing this for the first time again, this system is believed to have originated with the Atlanteans, and it was wildly practiced in the ancient temples of Egypt, known as the Great Pyramids. And around the time of Ramses, that's when the pharaoh took extreme power and was like, nope, this is no longer going to be talked about. It went underground and it has been passed along secretly for millennia. And now we are evolving out of that. It was always believed that there would come the time when this system could be used and the information disseminated, and that is now. So it's awesome to be able to bring this forward and to be part of the light of the Magi. And so let's dive into your card, shall we? Because I know
yes.
even though you know a tiny bit about this, you're still, relatively like, what does this all mean? Well, I'm going to say if there is one thing, all eights, the Eight of Hearts, power of love, the Eight of Clubs, the fixed power of the mind, the Eight of Diamonds, the power to create financial abundance, and really the power of values. The Eight of Spades, Spades is, of course, I mean, the eight is the power card, but what does the spade represent? The spade represents our work. It represents our health. And because it is also the symbol that is associated with the north, or the true north of our life, or the wisdom years of our life, the spade carries in it, encoded within it, a little bit of the heart and the club and the diamond, making it, some would say, the most powerful of the four suits. So you've got a power number, a power symbol, and if that weren't all, Ann Jonas, bum ba da bum. Your first karma card is the almighty powerful king of clubs, the power of the mental power. So let's just start there. When I reflect to you that this is often, part of the soul essence of an eight of spades, that you're so powerful. Well, how does that sit with you? What is your response?
Okay, before I answer that, I'm actually going to ask you to tell me, how am I related to the king of
Mm.
clubs?
Okay, so in this system, we all accept, okay, 45, the numerology I just love. 45 is a nine, spiritual number. 45 cards have this pattern of movement that's done through quadrating the deck. Okay, so
Okay.
without getting too technical, they all follow. It's crazy. I mean, I every time I quadrate the deck, I am just blown away that this system is mathematical and scientific and it follows a pattern where the cards are laid out after that first quadration. So there's a spiritual spread, which is everything, like everything in perfect order, also known as where we came from, like
Okay. Yes,
before we
yes.
came. And then it looks very much like planet Earth. Like planet Earth looks like 52 card pickup, like it's totally random. So you have these two boards that are known as the spiritual spread and the life spread. And based on the placement of your card, that reflects to you where you came from. That is your karma card. And the
Okay.
card and it goes vice versa. So it is based on the quadrations how we read the karma that we are here to give to in this lifetime. And that for you is this King of Clubs card.
Okay.
And then there's another karma, a receiving karma. And for you, it's another mental card. It is the card of intuition, the Six of Clubs, which is very much about bringing balance and harmony and equilibrium to our word, to our communication. So you're flanked with karma on both sides, the mental karma, very mentally so that is how it's derived. And it's something that is yeah, best explain. You know what? If you want to know your karma, there are a couple opportunities. One, I am going to be doing a live 2-day event in Boise. Information is coming around that soon at the spring equinox, the beginning of the zodiac and the calendar year, where we are deep diving into karma because the karma really shows you a lot about yourself. And the other way is to just sign up for a soul purpose clarity call. And I can tell you your karma cards for that. But so that's a really, really long explanation to say that your card sits in a spot occupied in the spiritual spread by the King of Clubs, the
Wow,
powerful.
that's
Okay.
thank you. That brought a great foundation for that the whole picture, I
Yeah.
guess, really.
And
So
and
yeah.
while
Yeah.
you respond on that thought of power, I'm gonna see if I can pull up a graphic that might just solidify it. Because again, those kings also, kings of clubs, the mental mind, you want to know, like there's a true desire to understand. So I'll look for that. But power,
Yeah, that's
and
funny because I've always been a curious person, a
mm,
seeker, if you will.
hmm
So it's interesting to say, here's the thing. I have an ex that used to say that I had a healthy ego.
Tell me more.
I
Healthy
I
ego.
I have a healthy ego. I have reclaimed the word selfish,
Okay.
meaning that it's not negativity that is about me first. It's I am.
Okay.
And that it brings us to the whole airplane situation with the oxygen mask. We have to
Absolutely.
put it on ourselves first. So we're taking the negative connotation away from selfish and we're recognizing the power
Yes.
of being in our highest vibration, in our light, in our truth. And so this whole idea of like where I have embraced power as my birthright. Ha!
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it's your birthright.
I mean, all of us are power. I'm like got it written in the stars, right?
Yes,
I mean, in
yes,
that way.
yes.
So we are all power. I mean, just the other day I was talking about Yoda, and Yoda's like the force isn't you're not with the force is within you. And
Yes.
the force is power. The power.
Mhm,
Power
mhm,
versus force is a different conversation, right? And
mhm,
that's part
mhm,
of this
mhm.
energy. You are more powerful when you do not force, right? When
Ooh,
you surrender, when you
ooh.
allow, that's your power, getting out of your own way. So, me in power is me getting out of my own way on a daily basis.
Wow, wow.
And it's
And
funny that I literally that just clicked for me in this conversation.
what
I've
does
never
that
said
mean?
that before.
That was beautiful. I mean, you just threw just a couple bombs. I wish that I wrote down just there. So let's if
It's on
pause the
recording.
video. Yeah, rewind 30 seconds and re-listen to what Ann just said. But the power of okay, the power of getting out of your own way was that, I mean, that is, and sister, I love this because this is really the high side of an eight of spades. Because you can be so powerful, the low side of any, because you were like, well, what's the low side of being powerful, both a kings and eights? And I always say that the low side of these cards is when you are manipulative, when you abuse your power, when you force. When you force, and you just said that like the difference between force and power, right? Like the true power has nothing to do with force, but breathing into the force that is within you. I mean, we're talking a little Star Wars, a little Yoda, and I also just freaking love that you just mentioned Yoda. I quote him all the time.
Well, I got two little green friends, Kermit, I love so much,
Oh,
and Yoda. So
yes.
yes.
Okay. And let me just say that you and I, when you
Well,
look
my
at
other
how,
favorite friend in the whole world though is
oh, yes, Olaf.
yes, Olaf and the warm hugs. Love.
Oh,
I've got Olaf everywhere. So this is the thing. We are all here making it up anyway.
right. So just surrender, just, let go, but let the force, the ease, the getting out of your own way, out of your own power driven way, because that's what a lot of kings, that's what a lot of eights can do, is really force. And I wonder for you, if when you look back at where you are in your life now, again, back to the quadrations, which I am going to pull up right here. These, let me see if I can get this small enough. This is what I
Oh,
was
I
saying.
remember this now. I've
Yeah.
seen this chart before. Yes,
You're like,
yes.
is this
Okay.
the book that was falling apart?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, wow. Okay,
This is
cool.
considered the spiritual spread where it reads right to left. Everything's in perfect order. And boom, here's the King of Clubs. It is in the Jupiter row in the Saturn position. Okay. And then when you quadrate the deck and you lay the cards out, this is the mess you get. And this is the mess that we were incarnated into. And here's your card. It is in the Jupiter row in the Saturn column, sitting in the spot of the King of Clubs, making that King of Clubs your first karma card. You're giving your energy into becoming the master of your mind, the master of mental pursuits. And becoming a master is not about control, abuse, power surging. And instead, it is about knowing that we all have that power. You just said that. Like we all have the power. I'm not. I'm not an eight. I'm not a king. And I also know that the powerful life force lives in me as well. Uh, for some, it might just be a little bit easier to.
To identify. Well, it's interesting. So I feel like what needs to come through right now is this is where I am now. I'm 57 and
Okay.
I've been on a journey of self-reflection, self-growth, self-awareness. I mean, pretty much since I was 11 when my parents got divorced and put us all in therapy. Like that was a kickoff for me.
Okay.
What
Yeah.
my point I'm going to say is I've navigated most of my life control
Mm.
and control of my environment. and control, like in sort of, I call it, so not OCD, but ACDC kind of way.
Explain. ACDC.
ACDC being a current, which is energy.
Mm-hmm.
OCD is an energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a frequency.
Okay.
Everything is a frequency.
Yes.
Everything is a vibration. And so my response to my life and my childhood put me in the position of saying, I've only got me.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
see no support in this container. And
Mm.
so I am going to now, and this is a recognition I made, 6 years ago, 5, 6 years ago, that I was like,
Wow.
whoa, that was me and my 2.5-year-old self. I was in
Mm.
a journey space, and it was like, that's the person that started this.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
That's the version of me that started this.
Yeah.
So to come in with all that power and then be able to be like, none of you are going to help me. So I'm going to be the one. I mean, does
Yeah.
anybody resonate with that? Like,
Oh,
like, right in the world of like not feeling supported?
and you knew this at a very young age. You felt this
Well,
at
this
a
is two and
very,
a half. Like this isn't a knowing. This is
right,
like a
right, right. This is a feel.
frequency, right?
Right.
But this infused my life, and I didn't really understand why I needed to control everything and where I would get defensive. So it's like I'm
Wow.
coming to hear about the king and the six and who I am now. Like, you know, when I my aunt first told me this whole method, like didn't resonate. Why?
No,
Didn't have
no.
the clarity of who I am. So I love that you bring this level of awareness to people around another incredible tool of getting to know yourself.
Exactly. That's exactly what this is. It's a spiritual tool that you put in that tool belt. And what the reason that I really like talking with you, and also thank you for claiming with such grace your age, 57. You are beautiful and you are in volume two. I call life volume one and volume two. The pattern of quadration repeats itself 44 times. And on the 45th quadration, again, going back to that number nine, that spiritual number nine, on the 45th quadration, the pattern repeats itself. But the powerful thing that happens is that we've lived those
Mm,
first 44, 45 years of our life. And really, volume two, we step into the wisdom, or we have the opportunity to. The years between 45 and 52 are incredibly powerful years. This is where a lot of us
mm.
have depending on your perspective, a mental breakdown, what do they call it, a midlife crisis, and or a spiritual awakening.
Right.
And
Yeah.
like where you can't not see anymore, and it really forces you in a lot of ways to look at your karma, to look at your patterns, to look at the life that you've been living, and gives you the opportunity to question, am I happy? Am I,
Mhm.
do I feel soul aligned? Am I fulfilled? Or does something need to shift and something need to change? And those of us that walk the courageous path of authenticity, we go into doing the work, whether we know it or not. And that's what so many people, they come to a magi reading or a mini session, and they're like, oh my gosh, I was intuitively doing this, or I knew that this is where it was. And this just really illuminates or solidifies, clarifies, like, yes,
Mhm.
yes, you are on your soul path because this is how your soul chose in this lifetime to experience and have a relationship with power, that I think especially for you, because if you have a king as a karma card, there are potentially previous lifetimes, and I'll be curious to know your stories because I bet you've got them on previous lifetimes where you did abuse power, where you were in a position of abuse, and you came back to rectify that and to see, like you said, that there's more to being powerful than forcing your will, and instead, you know.
Well, it's funny. This is coming. So, for your listeners and audience, I have a powerful story, and I'm pretty sure you know it, and maybe you don't. Um, my dad shot and killed my mom,
Yeah.
and that was 25 years after that divorce. So I was 36 when that occurred. And it's interesting when you talk about power And so we all have the victim, victor energy, victim, victor, villain, all three of us. I mean, all three of us. And when you talk about like, we have our main and we have two others, like the trinity of our
Yeah.
existence is very powerful. And
Yeah.
so it's interesting about the abuse of power. Like his power to end her life came from his fear of not being in control of his.
Whoa. His power to end her life was the fear that came from him not being in control of his own.
Yeah, he was a victim to his life. Everything was the result of other.
Mm, wow. What a crazy powerful teacher your parent was in that to show you how, like, really, I mean, that is about as painfully harsh as it gets to see really how misaligned power
Well,
can be
so
and
and my
control. And
mom was the victim, and yet she was also her own villain.
mm,
I was raised with her and her own tormented lack of self-worth.
oh my,
So it's like an interesting, so it's all like there's no accident, my friends. You chose the time, the date, the Idaho, not Idaho. I love to say that. Yes, you chose Idaho to be born. But the point is like we chose this. We chose our parents. We choose our kids. You
yeah,
have kids. I
yeah,
have kids. I
yeah.
mean, like we chose them to be our partners,
Art.
every communities. So,
Hmm.
but back to the birth and the parents, they give us so much to work with.
Wow. Wow. And then I mean, again, that this is a huge story that is incredibly traumatic. When we don't need to dive into that, but the fact that, so many people when they meet you, all they feel is your presence, your love energy. I mean, again, you're the love messenger. You just radiate, you know, this beautiful aura around you. And to get to where you are today, you really had to face those abuse of power demons in your life.
Mhm. Well, I love to
Beautiful.
say our
Yeah.
mess is our message.
Our mess is our message.
And I've had a messy life, and my business is the Lotus Path. Remember, mud,
Yes.
muck, poo. We get to celebrate, acknowledge, claim, have gratitude for
Mhm.
our life because we created it and chose it. So, anyway, this is where I go all the time. And this has been my work to embody and live through my own versions of my demons that have
Yeah.
nothing to do with my parents, but were nourished, right? The soil of our childhood
Oh,
nourishes who we
yes.
be.
Yes. And I think it's just even having that perspective. I share in your perspective that we chose this. We chose this. We chose this embodiment of, that's represented through the symbology and the numerology here. We chose to come in the date, the time, the place, so that we can set that, like, this is the experience. I sometimes imagine, like a Rolodex in the sky of like, what are the life path choices? I'm going to go with
Well,
this messy
it's
life.
so it's funny that you say that. I love to talk about the movie Soul, the Pixar movie. Have you ever seen it?
Oh, yes,
So
yes.
remember when they open the floor and all the little eggs with the arms and
Yeah.
faces and legs, they look down at the earth. It's like they
Mm.
open the floor and they're like, what do I want to be? Just like that. And
Exactly.
then they pick it and then they get in line and then this machine slaps some like personality situation, AKA the cards,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
human design, the
Yep.
astrology, and
Mm-hmm.
then you go in and you be that.
Right.
Like it's literally
And
created when you choose this.
right. And the cosmic joke is like you create that, but then you're gonna go in with no memory of
Exactly.
your
That is the
of
cosmic joke. But here you go.
your
Actually,
decision.
you do get 5 years. When you negotiate, when you navigate with a child under 5,
Mm.
they're that connected to God. They haven't
Yeah.
forgotten yet.
It's
especially the
really
little
beautiful.
babies.
Yeah,
It's the babies, you're like, I'm looking at God. And
it's so
then
true.
the amnesia, the veil solidifies. Although this generation, I mean, I'm a Gen Xer, so every generation a little thinner
Yeah,
veil
yeah.
comes in,
Mm-hmm.
and like we are about this time right now, this awakening consciousness is about removing the veil.
Mm. Yes,
That's what we're doing right now. I mean,
yes.
whatever you want to talk about, because I'm not talking about politics, but all kinds of things are being revealed.
Oh gosh, yes, they are. Yes, they are.
So we're seeing beyond the veil, beyond. So it's funny, Wizard of Oz,
Oh, let's go
woo,
there.
woo. Look at it. There's a switch on the woo right
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, like, we've been really indoctrinated into what awakeness is.
Yeah.
And awakeness is truly an awareness of God presence. And I have a cat named Magic that
Mm-hmm.
only that talks all the time. She talks all the time, but she has not said anything until I said just that. There are times where I make like big statements and
Mm-hmm.
she shows up in the house meowing. So
Oh, I
anyway,
love
that
that.
was God and I saying, yes, this is our truth. This is
Mm.
really our truth, is that we are here to remember. And
Yes.
these tools, the cards, these anchor points, these are anchor
Yes.
points that you're providing. These anchor points help us surrender to what
Mm-hmm.
we are creating within ourselves that is the reason we're here to be. This is our purpose. And so to
Exactly.
embrace, we have to embrace the edges.
Yes.
With okay, Inside Out, another movie,
I
when
love.
when Joy realizes she needs
I
sadness, I
know. Oh.
audibly cried out in the theater, like a whole situation. I'm like, yes. So like
We need the darkness to see the light.
yes, we
Yes.
need the night to see the stars. We can't
Yeah.
see a flame in a lit room. I
Yeah.
mean, it's everywhere, and it's
Yes.
a gift to remember.
And it really is like when we can have this perspective, it's a very pulled out, very like I would say like a nine perspective. And the reason I say nines is because nines are the universal number. Sevens are very spiritual, and if you have where sevens show up in your roadmap, all of that is going to lead to spiritual experiences. But nines even pull you further and higher into this universal wisdom that is as simple as learning to let go of things because they're outdated and it's time to release something so something new can come in and that it's okay. As painful as it is, and your story is wrapped in just pain and sorrow in so many ways, but it showed you a way forward and a way that you're going to use your power. And because you are such a powerful being, I think that it is a reflection of how you have been able to create this life for you now where you're healing, because there's also a huge healing energy, of course, in the Eight of Spades, I would
Mm.
say. Um, and one more question about that. Like, you're a woman and being so powerful, like both from your birth card and your karma card. Now, you do also have a secondary card we haven't talked about. You're the Capricorn. There are only three birthdays, by the way, only three. Out of the 365 days in a year, only three are born Eight of Spades, and that is the your birthday. The Capricorn is the 6th of January, February 4th, and March 2nd. Okay, so that's it.
Oh,
Okay, but you have a secondary card, the Three of Clubs, that is also about expression. So many clubs around you, so many expression. I totally lost where I was going with my
something to
comments.
do with
Oh, yes, I know.
power.
I got it. I got it. Okay, so the question is like being such a powerful woman. What have relationships been like, particularly intimate
Mm.
relationships? Because I would imagine it's going to require a pretty confident man or woman, and I'm not going to say, a pretty powerful
Well,
partner
so
to
I'm going to
match.
tell you I've had both.
Okay.
And they've all been hard relationships. That has been a
Okay.
quality that has been a description of them. So I
Mm-hmm.
was married, my daughter's other mom, her brother is actually my brother-in-law is her dad, my daughter's
Okay.
dad. Okay.
Okay.
We were together for 5 years. We were married for four, and she died of cancer when our daughter was two.
Mm. Oh boy.
So that I was widowed, um, like, yeah. So my mom died in 2006, 2005, my dad in 2007, and then 2013. So that was that window of
Whoa.
time. So, and our daughter, like I said, our daughter was two. So I became a widow. I did have one really beautifully, powerfully, amazingly beautiful, easeful relationship.
Mm.
And I'm still friends with all of my exes, by the way, even the dead one.
Maybe especially.
Exactly. We've had a power, that's a whole nother talk
Yes,
conversation.
yes,
But
yes.
my point is that this one person that I think about, she is incredibly powerful in her own way
Mm, mm-hmm,
and knows herself,
mm-hmm.
whereas all of the other relationships were us learning about ourselves on a really deep level.
Mm, yes.
And so when I say I'm friends with all of them, it means that I get the lesson that they brought for me.
Beautiful.
And
That's,
that's where I believe this is part of that taking accountability with life. And
yeah,
so, yes, like they are all powerful people.
yeah.
And I chose powerful people. And so there's
Mm,
interesting parts of my
yes.
life too where I swallowed my light and my power,
Mm,
let
mm-hmm.
them shine. That was another
Absolutely.
dynamic that I
Yeah,
danced in. So
yeah.
yeah, I feel like the next person that comes along is yeah, truly whenever that is, and I'm enjoying my time with me and the relationship
Yes.
with me right now, whenever that is, I feel there'll be another version because
Hmm.
I am truly another version of me. And that,
Absolutely.
so, and this is the thing I'm going to say, you know this, and for anybody, we attract who we be. We
Mm,
see who we be.
yes,
And these are powerful things to take ownership of.
right. We don't attract what we want. We attract what we are. And
Yep.
that's like
Yep.
like
Exactly.
truly
That's a tough one.
all reflect and going again to, parents and children are also part of that dynamic. The
Absolutely.
relationships that we have, some of the most important, actually, I think the most important relationships that we have are those that we share our home with throughout our lifetimes, right? Sometimes it's lifetime, sometimes it's a season. But who we are in relationship, it is always that, I mean, I think relationships are the very best teachers for us. They're always reflecting back to us where we're at, how we're doing, how,
Yep.
where we still have like, oh, is this a pattern I'm repeating?
Well, I'm going to even bring in too, like, often people have pause with this conversation, and then they'll say, like, well, why would somebody choose to be given up for adoption? And
Mm,
so you're speaking into a relationship on a daily, on a
yeah.
lifetime living way. There's also the energetics of what someone is for you in your life. Like, so it's like my brother-in-law is also a narcissist bipolar.
Okay. Okay.
Meaning, like, my dad is a narcissist bipolar. My daughter chose a similar dad, and he and I have had a beautiful dance. It's been beautiful and it's been very challenging.
Yeah.
And, I believe one of the greatest gifts of power is to love the soul for existing, not the human for behaving.
Dude. I'm just blown away by all the wisdom that you're sharing. Can you say that one more time?
Well, what's funny is I've never said that before. So let's see. The idea of the true power is to love the soul for existing, not the human for behaving. I mean, this is
Yeah.
that thing about hurt
Yeah.
people, hurt people.
Yeah.
Remember? Hurt people,
Hurt people
hurt
hurt
people.
people.
So
Yeah.
why people have been hurt because they chose to be hurt.
Right.
Right? It's all it's like the it's that element of the cycle, the
Right.
wave, the existence,
Well,
the
I think
duality.
Yeah, I think one of the most important parts of the grief cycle is what has come out more recently, the sixth phase of grief, which is finding meaning. Because really, like
Mm.
after you go through all that, all the way from, to the acceptance, the finding meaning is where the magic resides. Like, don't make your suffering for nothing. Like, learn
So the
something.
reason I'm laughing is because I did not identify with the first five steps. I was like,
Mm.
there's no grief journey. You show up. I worked with six, and six wasn't even something that I knew. Like that's what the Lotus Path is all about.
It is.
And like I was given the gift to reveal that to myself. Everybody, you were given a gift. Your life, your challenges is
Mhm.
so that you become this version of you. And it doesn't
Yeah.
happen overnight, and it may not happen till you're like 80. It doesn't matter. The point is that you're
Yeah.
here in the dance.
In
You're here
the
in the dance.
dance.
Yeah.
And some of the most complicated dances are the most beautiful, you know? I
Mhm.
mean, it really is. I love that the lotus is such a beautiful representation of that, the murk and the beauty. Like it's all like you can't have one without the other. And
Yeah. Yeah.
wow. And I mean, I can talk to you all the time. I just want to like sit down like this with a cup of coffee and
Well, you
hear
know
like
what's interesting? Like that's who I feel, that's who I see. I see me talking and people witnessing and
yeah,
getting curious. I
yeah.
see that. I see
And
that
and and what's
on a level.
beautiful, because your other card, that Three of Clubs card, is called the writer's card, or it can be the speaker's card. It's the expression of thought. It is the sharing of ideas and the creative expression of that, and how important that is also for you. I mean, that's a whole different conversation for another day, but I do see that in you, like with the wisdom and how you can bring in all of these club cards, all these mental cards, and really piece together this beautiful life and this path and this way forward, how you are showing people truly the power of love. And that power of love starts within. And
Well, I'm also just got another big hit on this is that I spend a lot of time in my mind, which
mm,
this is part of the journey that
yeah,
I speak into. Like I made
yeah.
a quote the other day, mindless is the now moment. Mindless
Mm.
is the now moment. Therefore, mindless is the new mindful.
Whoa. Mindless is the now moment. Because if you're in the now, just
You're not
breathing,
thinking about it.
not
You're not
thinking
thinking
it,
about
you're just in
anything.
it.
There's no
Everything's
mind
fine.
in the now moment.
Right,
There's no mind. But
right.
we've been indoctrinated to the mindfulness practice, which is not a
Mhm.
bad thing, right? Fill
Right,
your mind with the practice of being with God. That's
right.
a good thing. But
Yes,
really, it's not even that. It's empty your mind.
yes. And just be like a tree
Be. Exactly. Exactly.
or yeah,
Well,
like
Yoda says there's no try, only do. Well,
yes.
I actually have improved it because I said there's no do, only be.
Yes.
Now
For
we do have
all
to take aligned action, okay? We have to like eat food and
yes.
take care of our kids and there's an
Yes.
element when
Yes.
we be as we're doing. There we go. That's
That's
a recipe.
magical. And that's honestly, I want to say this is such a refreshing conversation with an Eight of Spades because they can be considered a workaholic type card. And work is definitely the do, the very masculine energy. You're throwing your head back and you're laughing right
Well,
now.
because my shamanic journey life, I've become a shamanic practitioner, and along that journey, my friend and I traded. I found her power animal for her marriage, her relationship, and she went looking for mine for my business.
Mhm.
My business power animal is a sloth.
What? I was gonna say a bee, like a busy bee. No,
Nope. A sloth. Now, I got to tell you, and I have a version right here. Like, hello,
oh
hello.
my goodness, what a great
On the
reminder.
bottle that says awaken. Okay, there we
Yeah.
go. But
Heck
here's
yeah.
the thing. What I want to say about this is that that was a permission slip because I have
Wow.
experienced myself as a lazy procrastinator, but this all ties in with my human design. Like
Mm.
I've been recently taking Tammy Reed. I celebrate
Yeah.
you, sister. Yep.
Yeah,
This
beautiful
this
Jack of
class, and
Hearts.
so it's all the same from different perspectives, but these tools give us permission to recognize what we are coming in
Yes.
with, what we bring with us.
Yes.
And so for me, it is about not being a workaholic.
It's
Even though
permission to be
I've
authentic.
been solopreneur for more than 20 years.
Yeah.
Like I'm committed to my life. And there's also another piece, the relation to the power and the value
Mm-hmm.
and relationship with money, power
Mm-hmm.
and self-worth. I mean,
Oh.
it's all swimming through that.
Yeah. Yeah, and the permission is really, I think, where what these cards gave me. They gave me permission to be authentically me and to stop trying to be somebody else for somebody else. I mean, there's so much. There's so much that a soul roadmap can reveal to you, and we just touched on just the surface level today because there was just so much wisdom and in all that you had to share. And if people would like to learn more about the Lotus Path and the work that you create, where should they get started? What is a great place to go? What's a great and perhaps what have you got upcoming that people might want to jump in on the love messenger train for?
I love that. Thank you for this opportunity to be here and to see myself, to be seen, to be a reflection, and to navigate this journey. Yes, I'm grateful to be the solopreneur of the Lotus Path. And lotuspath.love is where you'll find that. And so I offer monthly portal energy perspective guidance on YouTube. I have all my channels are Ann the Love Messenger. So that's social media, or Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. And so as you journey into my world, you'll find the different offerings. And Sacred Connection is a community that is also a part of that. There's a free open community, and I offer the 3 times a year a 9-week journey of Sacred Connection. We are in round 12 right now. I've
Ooh.
been doing this. So we're on the 104th week of this experience that I have held
Wow. Wow. Of sacred connection,
of
of
Sacred
being in
Connection
this
with
an
about
intentional community.
80 unique co-teachers have joined me. I have 8 co-teachers around per round. And so I'm a published author. That is another way to engage with me.
Mhm.
And come follow where I play and
Yeah.
share little nuggets like this. I podcast, I guest on a lot of places, and there's so much more coming. There are things that are popping up, retreats that I've held
Yes.
and workshops and moon experiences. It's this year is about new beginnings and
Yes.
shining light. So
Truly
you come
is.
play with me and follow me and learn about what I get to offer.
I mean, you will not regret that choice to follow the love messenger, to get in on just a lot of, as you heard today, there's so much wisdom. And truly, again, I just want to say one more time, like how refreshing it is to hear an 8 of Spades in their wisdom years have a really healthy relationship with understanding power, what true power is. I think we can simplify it all the way down to love, and that we all have that power to love ourselves, to love one another, to get to that vibration instead of that need to control and to manipulate and to force, but instead to give way to the love force that is within all of us, that is how we were created. And when we allow ourselves to just remember that, what magic can occur, what magic, and what
It's
magic.
funny that you say that because the title to the chapter in the book that I curated and produced,
Mhm.
Love is Everything. That
Oh,
is it. That is it. So
this,
you're absolutely right. Love is the power. Power is love. And
yes.
I'm honored to be a power card.
Yes, and you truly are. I'm like, maybe, yeah, I might even think about because it's often called the power and work. And you are creating powerful work, but not from the way that a lot of us associate power, and it just feels good because the shift is here. We're bringing it. We are recognizing that there are outdated norms of how we have a relationship to work that doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be so hard. It can include flow and
Yeah.
ease and sloth energy so that
Yes.
we can receive the
Yes.
intuitive guidance so that we can hear the messages and so that we can be very intentional.
Well, that's when we get out of our own way
Yes.
and we're not bumping up against the edges of our life. We're
Mhm.
listening for the opening.
Mm.
This is a co-created experience.
Yeah.
Let's be conscious and intentional about that and get out of our own way and listen. That is what my beingness has been about. And I stumble, don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. I've got all kinds of edges and navigations
Yes.
and machinations. And I really celebrate the opportunity to see myself through the community that I have vibrated to me. That is, we are
Mm.
reflections of those in
Mhm.
our
Mhm.
field, and I'm
Yeah.
honored to be in your field. Thank
Likewise,
you.
sister. Likewise. Oh my goodness. So I feel like if there were, I mean, you've done a lot of mountaintop messages already in this episode, but to close us out, if there were one thing that you absolutely emphatically feel that the world needs to hear right now from the love messenger, the mighty, powerful card of will, what might,
So
no
I have a
pressure.
golden, I have, no, the funniest part about it is I have a golden nugget.
Of
And
course you do.
well, I have lots of them, but I have this one particular one that I use a lot.
Okay.
And it's exactly what we've been talking about today.
Okay.
So guess what?
Let's wrap it up in a bow then. Let's do
Yep, this is
this.
it. When you are here now, NOW, you have won, WON. You flip that word.
Oh,
And there's more. You're one with everything, ONE, and
mm,
you own it, OWN. You own it. You own your life. You own your
mm,
power. Now, one.
mm.
When you're here now, you've won. You're one with everything and you own it all.
Wow. 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 I'm just blown away. This
From
has
now
been
to the wow.
now from now to the wow. Yes, wow. That's it. That's it. If you want more wisdom drops, go to the lotuspath.love. You can find out more. I'll put all information on how you can reach Anne and just receive some of her wisdom and her beautiful energy of taking the pain and truly transmuting it, transforming it into what it needs to be, and that is the power of love.
Mm.
Thank you.
Mm,
Thank you
thank
for being
you.
here. Next week, we'll be back with the almighty Nine of Spades. Dare I call it the death card? I think I shall. But we all know that on the other side of every death is just another life waiting to be born. So see you back here next Magi Monday. Thank you so much, Anne, for being here today.
Thank you.